Hello, fabulous friends and fans. Welcome to your horoscope for the week of December 27th, 2015. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. Happy January to everyone out there. Happy New Year to everyone out there as well. Welcome to 2016. So this year, and really this week, takes us on a journey that asks us to balance inspiration and faith that things can be better, certainly can be better, especially if we bring a little bit of our own effort, and balance that with an understanding of where it is that we truly desire change and what that nature of that change will be, particularly considering the bigger picture. We also should be experiencing important shifts of energy, changes of focus as we prepare for Mercury retrograde, which will be starting next week. So we're comfortably in shadow now as we start, and as we get into early next week, the retrograde will begin. So what's happening earlier in the week is that the sun will be speaking in harmony with Neptune. This is beautiful. This is inspiration. This is having that understanding with the sun in a very grounded earth sign of Capricorn, being able to see how it is that things are working out to move us in a positive direction, to move us in a direction of being in alignment with life purpose and feeling ourselves in alignment with that higher vision, that higher plan that could be out there for our lives. This also is really great if you are an artist, however you define that, or if you just desire to feel a sense of meaningfulness in the work that you are doing. You know, all work is meaningful. I like to say that, and I do believe that very much. Exactly where you are right now has a spiritual purpose, has a spiritual significance for you. And this particular energy certainly should help us to see that, to see the spirit in what it is that we are doing. Also happening this week is Mercury will be speaking to Mars. Now, this is a very rousing type of conversation. And I also think that this is a type of celestial conversation that's going to ask us what's worth talking about, what's worth focusing on, what's worth thinking about. But also it is going to be conversation and interactions with other people that likely are going to show us where it is that we desire change. And sometimes that place where we desire change is not always very clear cut, is not always direct. Now, what you do really want to watch with this energy is that you want to make sure you're keeping it about you and the change that you desire to experience. Because with this sky, it's just very easy to end up projecting that energy. And so when you own your own frustration, you have power. And sometimes the thing that needs to change is just your acceptance and your decision that you are going to focus your energy in other areas, that you're not going to sort of put yourself in certain situations. In some cases, it's very dramatic. It's, you know what? No, I'm no longer accepting that. I'm no longer walking that path. And so this is what I choose. I'm going a new way. So for all of us, this energy will play out in our own unique lives and circumstances. But ultimately what this says is the message will be loud and clear. Here is change. Change is happening. Like it or not, this is what is set to take place. And ultimately, this energy does empower us. Mars is all about empowerment. It's about getting to the truth of who you are and then acting from that place of absolute self-knowledge to the best of your ability. It's when that self-knowledge is not as solid that this energy can end up going in different directions, not necessarily in the places that you intended. Also be mindful with this patience, patience, patience. You want to be sure that to the best of your ability, once again, you're able to take the high road, take the spiritual high road, and especially not react very immediately. With this particular conversation, it might be not even your intention to get someone riled up, but just a little bit of impatience could do just that, or just a little bit of not realizing how what you're saying might be received by the other person could do just that. So if it takes a little bit more time to explain where you're coming from. If it takes a little bit more time to listen to someone who's trying to convey a message to you, trying to get you to understand their perspective, then that actually could help resolve all this energy and help you to understand ultimately how it is that the sky is helping to lay the groundwork for an amazing year that we are about to collectively experience as we move forward. Also this week, Venus will change signs. Venus is moving into the sign of Sagittarius. This should bring a certain wanderlust. It should bring a certain adventurous spirit to love and even to making money as well. I think, a lot of people, I get a lot of messages, people asking me on internet, on different social media as well, like, how is it that you're able to do what you do? And how is it I want to do this? How can I do that going out and about and being able to travel at the same time? Well, that's going to be part of this conversation because Venus is love, yes, but also money as well. And it's also the joy of living, the joy of life, of living a life that is stimulating on an intellectual level, but also where you feel like you're fully participating in the joys that this world has to offer. And so wherever it is that we need to make change or dream about what's possible, wherever it is that we want to include a greater sense of aliveness and adventure, that is going to be what it is that we are seeking. And that includes in love as well. If we're not doing it in our own lives with our work or whatever, then it could be very possible with this particular sky that a lot of people are going to be sort of expanding their circle of reach, if you will, being willing to go and engage in cultures that are different than maybe you've understood before. And ultimately, I do think this is about bringing the world together in a very immediate kind of way in your own experiences. I do think, I've been hearing a lot, people have been talking a lot online and media and interviews. They've been saying, call up your local center and welcome the refugees, and been saying things like that, like to bring love to the people who are arriving wherever it is on the planet. And I think that we're going to start to see that, particularly in the early part of the year. We are going to be seeing examples of that and more people encouraging that. Personal interactions with the refugees that are now entering really many parts of the world to bring that sense of love to those, to the moment, and to bring that sense of home and welcomeness, graciousness, if you will, to those who are foreigners. I think we're going to start to see a lot more stories of that taking place as well as a collective, and more people encouraging that just online, your friends and people that you're interacting with. Also this week, Mercury will change signs. Now Mercury is now gearing to station. Okay, so ultimately what that means is next week, Mercury goes retro. Okay, so Mercury's comfortably in shadow. Mercury goes retro next week. This week, Mercury will enter Aquarius and slowly be gearing to that stop. So this is when, especially at the very end of this week and the first days of next week, this is when Mercury's energy is most felt, most potent, most clear about what this particular retrograde is going to be about for you. Now, Mercury is just stepping into the sign of Aquarius. It's like taking one step comfortably into the sign of Aquarius. Each sign has 30 steps, let's say. Let's say you're walking down a block, and every block is 30 steps. So literally, you walk one step into this new block, and then you start going backwards. Well, that's what Mercury is doing. Walks one step into the sign of Aquarius before going backwards and spending most of the retrograde in the sign of Capricorn. And in fact, this whole year, and I spoke about this in the annual horoscopes, which are up now, for some of the signs where it was relevant, I spoke about how this year the retrogrades ultimately are going to speak most in earth signs. They are incorporating earth sign energy. So there's a certain practicalness to how it is that Mercury is going to speak to us. So it isn't just going to be, okay, did I think about that right? Did I understand that? Did I do that, in a sense of a more intellectual sense? Did I express that the right way? Is this going to be understood? But there's a more grounded, practical sense to how Mercury retrogrades are going to speak now, but also in the coming year. But what's so interesting is that because Mercury just steps into the sign of Aquarius and really is at its heightened energies there. And it is said, as I mentioned last week when I spoke to the Aquarians last week, it is said that Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury. So Mercury moving into Aquarius sort of amplifies Mercury's energy anyways. And you add to that Mercury standing still and preparing to go backwards. I mean, this to me is that brilliant idea. It is that brainstorm. It is that, all of a sudden that idea coming out of nowhere and going, oh my God, yeah, that's what needs to happen. This is the clarity. This is the future. This is the place I'm going. Do I like it or not? And then we get to go back and make sure that our actions and our lived reality is in alignment with the future that we desire to create. So when Mercury is retrograde in Earth signs throughout this year, it ultimately means that it is not so much about what you're thinking. It's not so much about intentions. It's much more about what is actually happening. What are you actually doing to improve your life in a practical way so that you are creating more prosperity, more opportunities, stronger connections to yourself, to other people. The part of this energy that has to do with a focus on manifestation becomes especially heightened now. And with Mercury moving through Earth signs, right? Mercury is ruler of Virgo as well. And so a lot of times people, when we think of mercurial energy, we think of it in terms of ruler of Gemini, right? That's one way to understand this energy. But as ruler of Virgo, not only is it bringing out the more analytical side of this energy, but also there has to be some practical use to it. How are you going to channel this energy that's saying, okay, do it over? And like literally, we may have to do certain things over. And in the sign of Capricorn, in alignment with life purpose, in alignment with goals that we have for our life, in alignment with where it's relevant career goals that we might have for our life. We'll have to reconsider and redo some things over again. But the redo part of it actually can work very much to our advantage, because this ultimately allows us to make sure we like what we're manifesting. Earth is about manifestation. Do we like what we're manifesting or not? Where we don't, we will make the changes necessary so that we manifest something better, we manifest something different, and we manifest something that we truly can feel proud of. Now, where it comes to the new year, most of the planet will be celebrating the new year in the sign of Virgo. And it is going to be sort of like the west coast of North America that will be having New Year's in the sign of Libra. So with so much of the planet celebrating the new year in the sign of Virgo, it does suggest that there is going to be this focus on the daily habits, the daily routines, what's actually happening, what's actually getting done to help you to achieve whatever your resolutions are, however it is you want this year to be different. What will practically need to happen to make that happen? And I also think with this energy that a lot of people very likely won't mind working on their dreams or goals or ambitions. They'll be thinking about those small steps and be eager to begin doing them. For those people who actually are going to be experiencing this energy with the Libra, a happy new year energy, that tends to be really good for connecting with other people and being social all around. But much of the evening anyways will be spent in the sign of Virgo. Thankfully, Jupiter is also in the sign of Virgo right now, slowing to a halt. Very soon, it is going to be Jupiter that will go retro. So right now, Jupiter is slowing down to a halt, and we are going to have, over the course of New Year's Eve, the moon moving over that Jupiter. So that should bring a lighter energy, a real hopeful energy, and Jupiter really is. I know it's Virgo, okay? I know it's not like another sign like Sag or an air sign or a fire sign, but still, it's Jupiter, it's a party. And so the fact that the moon is going to move into Jupiter should help us to feel that much more jubilant as we welcome in the new year. Well, thank you so much for watching the introduction. I'm truly so grateful for it. I want to send a burst of gratitude. Thank you so much for being a part of my journey for another year. I'm truly so very grateful for it. I'm grateful to have your trust. I'm grateful for our interactions, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, my website, nadiyashah.com, and the YouTube comments as well. You guys have given me so much love this past year, 2015, and I'm forever grateful for it. And I'm really looking forward to all the amazing things coming up ahead in 2016. I am giving away like some gifts essentially. So if you are on my newsletter, you would have already gotten the links to them. I'm giving away a large section of my book, the beginning section of my book. I'm giving away an MP3 download of the talk that I did at Lilydale called Making the Best Choices with Astrology, and also giving away discount coupons to the Astrofabulous jewelry line. You guys are loving it. Thank you so much. Getting amazing feedback on that. Thank you so much. I am in Mexico, so the shipping is taking a little while. I can't wait to have mine. I can't wait to rock it on camera with you guys. But all of that is there. So if you are on my newsletter, you would have already gotten those gifts. And if you are not, please come on my website, nadiyashah.com, join the newsletter, and you'll be able to download and access all those codes and gifts and stuff to listen to and stuff to read right away. I am also really grateful for your trust. You guys ask me amazing questions. I absolutely love it. I'm really looking forward to January. Yay! I have so many things I'm hoping to do. This has been a really busy month, and it really is because of the trust of you. So thank you so much for that. The annual horoscopes, as I said, should be out right about now. And you will notice that I only did one horoscope for love and life. So I'm bringing the two together, and there was actually a very practical reason for that. And I'm very thrilled to announce that it is MSN. So for those of you who know, MSN as a search engine, as one of the landing pages associated with Microsoft, MSN is going to be featuring my annual horoscopes on the English language horoscope pages, really in many, many countries throughout the world. So yes, on my YouTube channel, you can watch my horoscopes, and the annual horoscopes definitely are up, the 2016. Each video looks at different areas of life and love as well. So I've combined them. And the reason that I did that is really for the amazing people at MSN who contacted me and said that they wanted to share my work with their audience. So that's really incredible. And I'm so excited to be some part of their vision there as well. So the same video is available on MSN Astrology websites really throughout the planet. If you're accessing an English language MSN website, chances are you should see my horoscopes there as well. The same horoscope, different background. They decided to edit it, and I think it looks beautiful. They did an amazing job. So thank you so much to MSN out there, and I hope that you guys really enjoy the 2016 videos. Because of all the personal horoscopes that I have been having to focus on, it does mean that the monthlies are going to come out like at the last minute, and I'm sorry about that, but the January horoscopes literally will be published on the 31st. It looks that way, the timeline. And even the weekly for this week and for next week as well, likely, I try to get them out early to you guys, but likely will be coming out like right at the last minute on Sunday. I appreciate your patience so much. I'm so looking forward to lots of new things to introduce you guys to. coming up in the new year. So yes, you asked me great questions. Sometimes those questions are a little bit personal. If you are so inspired, please do consider a personalized horoscope where I can look at your unique birth chart and answer your unique questions based on the time, the moment, the place that you were born. So you can check that out on my website, Personalized Horoscopes. There are 3 new areas of focus: love and luck, success and luck, and also life purpose. Life purpose is hugely popular. Thank you so much, you guys. I just am so grateful for that. But a lot of you are liking the life purpose reading. It tends to go a little bit longer, but it's still priced the same as every other reading. It tends to go a little bit longer, looking at like sort of what I like to call the big 6 as part of a certain methodology that I go through to look at how it is that you can consciously align yourself with a sense and a feeling and a clarity of a higher vision for your life, a sense of life purpose as well. And also, of course, there are all kinds of deluxe packages on my website as well, so please have a look at that also. I'm so grateful for this moment with you. I can't say it enough. As we're ending this year, I'm thinking about all the different things that I have learned about myself. I'm thinking about how much you all have been a part of that learning, and I'm so very grateful for it. I think one of the really big lessons for me in 2015 was to know myself, to know what I need, to listen to myself. That seemed to come up again and again. And I think part of that was reflected in the fact that this past year we had Mercury retrograde in air signs. And so air signs are about thinking, right? They are about understanding things on a more intellectual level. So I would love to hear about your spiritual lessons as well in 2015. And so please do share them. Again, just let me know, share, reach out. Facebook, Twitter, Google+, my website, nadiyashah.com, and in the YouTube comments as well. Would love to read about your journeys and things that you have come to realize and how you are better as a result of the experiences that you had in 2015. As you may know, if you're a regular friend and fan, everything I do, absolutely everything I do, is to affirm that the universe is wise and loving. The universe is wise and loving. This is something that I've come to understand more and more deeply. Every day that goes by, every week that goes by, every year of my life that goes by, I come to this deeper conviction of this. The universe is wise and loving. And you being here in this moment right now allows me to live this mission, to affirm this truth in the world. And that really is everything. It is everything. And I am truly so grateful to have had your trust this year, and hopefully to continue to explore the sky, to affirm the universe is wise and loving in new ways, in more frequent ways as well as we move into 2016. It should be an amazing year for all of us. So how all this wonderful stuff that I shared with you about what's happening in the sky speaks to you and your sign is coming up right now. Hello, fabulous Aries. This week we have got a lovely sky speaking to you in a very personal way. Now, I do like the fact that this conversation between Neptune and the sun has you dreaming about what's possible for your life and really what more there is to do. You have more living to do. There's more stuff you have to do in this lifetime, and you are going to be very inspired. You're certainly going to be one of those signs that is feeling like all these ideas coming about what you could do this year, how things could change, how you could move forward, how you could achieve the things that matter to you. You'll very much be in that zone of not only wanting change, but also having the inspiration and having the absolute faith that change is possible. And with that, it truly becomes that much easier to move in that direction. Mars is speaking with Mercury, so if anyone's going to be attracting a conversation that really gets you in touch with what you really feel, it is very likely to be you. And Venus is moving into fellow fire sign Sagittarius. So as Venus moves into a fire sign, this is really compatible with you, and you really are going to be wanting to be more active, more out there, more social, more adventurous, whether you are open to new love or with the one that you do love. Lots of new experiences are going to be on offer for you. And also, I do think if you're in an established bond, you might start thinking about planning a trip together. If you are open to meeting someone new, I would say people that enter your life now likely will be of very different cultures or backgrounds than you have previously been used to. But that certainly will be part of the intrigue and part of the appeal. Hello, fabulous Taurus. This week we have got an active sky. The sun is in fellow earth signs, speaking in harmony with Neptune. To me, this says that your friends really come through for you in a big way. Now, whether it is that you're talking to them about your ambitions, about your dreams, about what you're hoping to do, or whether it is that you're just out, like you're just having joyous moments with them, enjoying your life and finding significance in it. You know, if there's anybody who's going to be saying and going to a friend and saying something like something like I said 3 years ago, actually, and I've been sharing this online, but you know, it was 3 years ago that I first came to Mexico. And I remember when I went back and I realized that I really want to be there. I really believe I'm meant to be there. And I remember calling people, my dear friends, my aunt, and saying, am I crazy? Am I really going to do this? Is this possible? Well, I see you kind of having that kind of moment with some of your friends saying, you know, am I crazy? Is this something I really want to do? Is this something I'm really considering? It seems like some sort of a leap that you're wanting to make. And absolutely it's possible. Absolutely. Now you may have to, you know, iron out some details, and the time for that will come. But this is the inspiration reaching you. This is the possibility awakening you. And just like for me, at first, when I had told my mom, she didn't like it. Her first reaction was, no, don't go. And then, you know, she was okay 24 hours later because she raised me to be a free spirit. Also for you, I do think that as you start considering what is possible, where is possible, what you want to do, how you want changes to happen, there likely will be one person in your life to say, no, don't do that. I don't want you to do that. And they will be okay. It's just about you understanding and having the clarity and expressing clearly ultimately what it is you want to do. Wherever it is that you want change in your life that feels inspired, you've got lots of blessings to make that happen, to start the plan, to start putting things into place, to dream it so that you are led in the direction of doing it and being it. Now your ruling planet is moving into a decidedly a part of the sky really that has to do with, and it's kind of like a decidedly quieter part of the sky, but it is a financial part of the sky. So what this has to do with is what we call other people's money. This has to do with financial institutions. And so my advice would be, if you are open to meeting someone new, like go to the bank. Really, if you think there are benefits that you qualify for, definitely go and, you know, check that out and see what's available to you. But also talk to the people around you, like have conversations with people around you, because it is going to be like while you are in or accessing resources of whatever kind, right? It is in these types. Go to an employment resource center, wherever it is that you know you can be made better, right? Wherever it is you know you can go, and there will be help, there will be care, there will be the possibility of finances, possibility of benefits. Go to these places, connect with people in these places, and chances are, if you're open to meeting someone new, you just might end up in a random conversation with someone with whom you do sense a connection with. If you are in an established bond with this, it really does become about intimacy and wanting the real thing. And so it looks like the two of you are sharing more deeply, more personally than you have known before. Now do keep in mind though, you are gearing up just a little bit further down the road. I'll be here to talk about it then. But after this week, Venus is moving steadily towards Saturn. So get ready for a real burst of honesty. I'll be here to talk about it next week, but get ready to learn things about your partner that you just never expected to know. Hello, fabulous Gemini. This week, your ruling planet Mercury is speaking with Mars. So this active conversation is taking place. It's a very energetic conversation at that. And this particular conversation suggests to me that you will be, if anyone's going to get really riled up, chances are it is you. And getting riled up over a conversation, chances are it is going to be you. Now, it may or may not be like an intended thing. And if anybody needs to be really patient and give other people a little bit of a break, it would be you. And I think you're going to see things from a whole other perspective as we get to the very end of the week. And so you may have a certain reaction, or you may think the person means one thing in the earlier part of the week, and then you get to the end of the week and you go, oh my God, that could be interpreted so many different ways. And you had that reaction. Whether you had that reaction in person or on your own, like you read an email and all of a sudden you had a reaction about it. Things become a lot more clear once Mercury dips into fellow air sign Aquarius and stands still. That should bring a moment of clarity. But keep in mind then, next week, we're going to start the retrograde. So you in particular will start going within, reconsidering things much more closer to the heart of you than other signs necessarily might. Of course, I'll be here to talk about it then as we move forward. So strive to be really patient. The inspirations, ideas, conversations that come up now are going to show you something about where your determination lies, about where your empowerment lies. And once you know where it is that you can take action, you can take ownership, it becomes that much more possible to feel that much more stronger as well. Also taking place this week, we have this harmonious conversation playing out between Neptune and the sun. And the sun is in a very intimate part of your sky. And we also have Venus moving into your opposite sign. And so this is good for love all around. This is good, especially if you are in an established bond. There is going to be that desire to just be with this person, to be alone with them, to hug them, to just feel a sense of wanting to talk to them, feel that sense of connection, a deeper connection, and to feel a deeper sense of knowing this person enough and knowing this person more that makes you want to be with them that much more. But also with Venus moving through your opposite sign, if you're open to meeting someone new, the people you meet now have the real potential to last. They are long-term potential people who likely will cross your path. Hello, fabulous Cancer. This week, we have got an active sky. We have got the sun in your opposite sign speaking with Neptune. Romance is positively inspiring. In fact, I think that not only your imagination, but your more romantic senses will be working overtime, especially as we move towards New Year's Eve. So if you're in an established bond, it looks like you're making some plans. You're wanting to be super romantic with this person, wanting to do something special with this person or with the person that you're in a relationship with. And it looks like overall your plans go off well. We also do have, with this particular energy, you wanting to feel, it's almost like a part of you wants to feel an energetic, a spiritual connection to this person. Now, if you're in an established bond, that's great, right? You're deepening the commitment. But if this is someone that you're just getting to know, then it becomes a little bit like trying to find that right balance. You don't want to come on too strong. And I don't think that's very likely, okay? But with Mercury also speaking with Mars, it looks like the chance of overdoing it, going overboard is there. So you just want to be a little bit mindful of that. So as long as you are keeping yourself in check, doing what's appropriate depending on where you are in the context of that relationship, all should be well. If you are not with anybody, you certainly believe in love. You're believing in love in a big way, and that's really beautiful. And that alone can ensure that someone new does enter the picture as part of lighting up your imagination. We are going to be having Mercury retrograde. Next week, Mercury will come back into your sign, or back into your opposite sign rather. And I have been saying to you, I've been saying to the Cancers out there, and also I would say this to the Virgos out there, I will be saying it to the Virgos out there, if you're dating someone and you break up, chances are you will not stay broken up. If you meet someone right around this time, just know that more will be revealed. It's not always what you expect, and it can sometimes be way better. A lot depends on what's happening in your unique birth chart, but just keep that in mind as you are navigating the romantic waters this week. Also, this week we do have other stuff happening in your sky as well, in addition to love. And that has a lot to do with what's happening at home. And I do think that there's going to be a part of you that wants to be with family, that wants to be close to home, that wants to feel a sense of connection with your roots. Now, how do you balance that with love and the love in your life? Well, the two can serve each other, of course, you know that, but it does look like for those of you, especially if you're open to meeting someone new, and especially right around New Year's Eve, chances are you'll be thinking, okay, how does this person fit in with my foundation, with my family, however you define that family. Also, matters of home are going to be coming to your attention right about now as well. That energy is going to change very soon as we move into the new year. The energy will get a whole lot more romantic, as I'll be talking about in the January horoscope for your sign. But having said that, and I think I touched on it in the annual horoscope for your sign as well, but having said that, just for now, okay, as your attention is focused on home, be present with your family of origin, be present with your living space as well, where it is that you live, and enjoy it. Because there is going to be sort of lots of other people and situations that are going to be trying to get your attention, when there's a part of you that just really needs to be in the comfort of where you feel most comfortable. So find that right balance, and you will find yourself recharged to be able to love and give and enjoy that much more. Hello, fabulous Leo. This week, your ruling luminary, the Sun, speaks with Neptune. So this conversation does suggest that you are thinking about change, yes, but also feeling very inspired by the possibilities. And some of this change energy, very likely for you, is going to be connected to, related to work. The work that you are doing. Now, this isn't so much necessarily just yet about, you know, sort of like your higher aims or where you desire to go. It isn't like this big career kind of energy, but rather this is energy that has to do with, like, what are you actually doing day in and day out? Does it satisfy you? Does it fit into what you believe is truly going to help you make the changes you desire? So some of you are going to experience this in the context of work and clients. This is when you start to make some changes or consider what other possibilities are there for you. What needs to alter in terms of your connections with your coworkers so that you can then turn that around and make it something that empowers you that much more to make that many more meaningful changes. For some of you, it might even be more than that. It might be you feeling like you want to do something totally different, feeling like you want to do something that feels more rewarding and that feels more inspired as well. So that's going to be something that you've got to, you know, tap into as well. Lots of inspiration certainly is there. And there's a strong desire for change happening within you right now. So if you access that energy, you will find yourself coming up with this amazing ideas, with all kinds of amazing ideas that can allow you to feel like you're living a life more rewarding. So that has to do with the work, but also with your health as well. And in fact, there's any sign out there who's really going to be thinking about health more than others, very likely it will be you. You will certainly be one of the signs thinking about your habits, what you need to change in the context of your habits so that you can feel your absolute best, so that you can do what you need to do today to increasingly move towards a better and stronger you. Where it comes to love this week, we have Venus moving into fellow fire sign Sagittarius, and this is a very romantic part of the sky. So whereas for Geminis, this has to do with relationships and commitments and long-term partners, for you, this has to do with just the fun and the flirtation and the romance and the butterflies in your stomach, but it still has a love connection for you. This is especially helpful if you are open to meeting someone new. So if you're open to meeting someone new, be out and about. Make sure you're connecting with all kinds of people. I think that you are going to enjoy yourself immensely. And I do think with this particular energy, the chance of just, you know, getting your flirt on and finding that flirt go in a direction that feels very encouraging to you is certainly there. Those in an established bond should find themselves feeling the love, wanting the romance, insisting on the romance. And because of that, very likely you do get it. Hello, fabulous Virgo. This week we have got this interesting energy playing out in a part of the sky for you that has to do with your kids, and it has to do with romance as well. So this particular part of the sky is especially active for you now. And a lot of this is thanks to the sun and it's thanks to Mercury. So those of you who are in an established bond, there's a vision of the future that you are seeing and that you truly desire to experience. But it's almost as if I'm seeing you needing to get over a little bit of like the nitty-gritty, if you will. I guess that's one way to put it. It's like the little details that you need to get through or get over, some understanding that needs to happen so that you can reach that more inspired sense of living, sense of self. And especially for those of you who are already connected to somebody, there's going to be a genuine desire to have fun and to feel like, yes, we have so much to look forward to. There's such an amazing future ahead of us. And very likely you are going to receive some very good news. If you have children, there should be some good news all around coming there thanks to that conversation between Neptune and the sun. But of course that also speaks to if you're in a committed relationship as well, just feeling the love, feeling almost like a spiritual connection with this person that adds so much joy to your life. If you are open to meeting someone new, that connection could happen like in a, you know, sort of in a roundabout kind of way, a very interesting way. On the one hand, you do have that belief and want that and have that faith that that is possible for you. Absolutely it is. And yet at the same time, it does look like, you know, I look at this energy between Mercury and Mars, and it's almost like I guess the best way to put it is it's like a sexual tension, if I may say that. It's that type of energy. So it's like, if there's been somebody there and the energy has been building and you feel like, you know, you're feeling something, but it's nothing's really happening, or it's just kind of going around in circles, this is going to be the time when you're like, okay, let's connect. Let's make progress here. Something's got to happen, and something very likely will. Some energy will come forward. Somebody will say something, or some clarity will come to you. And also, if you are feeling that there is a matter between you and a partner that you haven't been addressing, particularly when it comes to any kind of financial situation, this is going to be you and your partner needing to work out, you know, where you guys are financially, how you feel about that, and finding a sense of unity and peace and balance within your lives together. All in all, it does look like a week where you are going to feel the support of a lot of people, and you are going to be feeling the encouragement of a lot of people. There's a lot of confidence now and a lot of belief now in wonderful turnarounds being possible. And that alone ensures that great things happen for you. Hello, fabulous Libra. This week is like sort of Mars' final stand in your sign. Next week, Mars is going to start moving on and moving forward and not return to your sign for another like a good 2 years. So this is sort of Mars' last stand. Mars does not want to go quietly, and Mars is going to be speaking with Mercury to ensure that quiet is the last thing that you are going to be, or Mars is going to be in your sign. For those of you born towards the end of your sign, so essentially if you were born right around between the 12th and the 22nd, you will be feeling this energy more than most. But all Libras out there should find themselves feeling a certain sense of motivation, a certain sense of a conversation like happening, and just getting them very much in touch with their own power to change. And you know, I will be honest with you, a small percentage of you out there might actually like have a moment or something come up that makes you go, I can't believe that person thought they could talk to me like that. I actually see that happening now. This is, I mean, you are much too gracious to just, you know, sort of get into a brawl or anything, and that should really be the last thing you want to do. It really helps nothing. But when that feeling comes up, it's really about you understanding yourself and what it could signify and what that could mean for you and where it is that you want to take that. Yeah, and sometimes, you know, when that comes up, depending on the context and who that person is, that also can take you in certain directions that ultimately end up empowering you a whole lot. I do think, as I look at this particular energy, it's very possible that this energy might be playing out a little bit closer to home rather than professionally. So it might not necessarily be a boss or something, or someone who talks to you like that, but rather either, you know, it might even be a family member that makes you go, whoa, okay. Or they might do something that makes you go, wow, okay, I really do not want to be with this person or around this person in any way. It is a possibility. So especially as the year is ending, be mindful that there might be, someone around you who particularly has like sort of rising emotions, unhealthy emotions kind of building. And just strive to be compassionate and patient, and where it feels like that's not really working, like go take care of yourself. That would be the absolute best thing. Now, one of the really positive ways that you can use this energy, an amazingly positive way, is a couple of things. One is you can actually see the way a family member is acting out and say, okay, but for the grace of go I, and realize that you don't have to be like that or be the same way. And another possibility also with this particular energy is just realizing what it is that is in your past that has determined your reactions, sort of your automatic reactions today. Because that illumination alone gets you closer to consciously choosing how you react. You know, I've been talking to people lately about this idea of that space, that split second, right? That little second that allows a person to say, okay, why? Like, what am I about to do? Why am I about to do this? And that split second is something that, you know, people who are just have a lot of pain may not be able to actually access for whatever reason. A lot of pain is one reason. I think that split second is what keeps somebody from doing something hurtful to others or themselves. That split second of consciousness, that split second of realization. When you are focused on yourself and wanting to be a better person, then the time between stimuli and action becomes as if you are able to act in a way that is conscious without having to spend a lot of time thinking about it, right? So it isn't like there's like no space between stimuli and action and reaction rather. So action, reaction. That space in between ultimately is illusionary. So if you're able to access it, and however long you're able to access it, determines how conscious that reaction is. And so this is going to be, I think for some of you out there, part of that lesson. And it might not even involve you. It might be that you see it playing out with someone else, possibly someone in your family. And this gives you a sense of who it is that you are, who it is that you desire to be. And that really is power. That is true power. To know that you have choice. And it is just that split second alone that allows you to decide if you're going to behave in a way that empowers you, that makes you feel good about yourself, that helps you to create a positive future, or is it not taking you in that direction? That split second, and again, it might not be you, but you might actually see this playing out in another person, and this can allow you to have more compassion for them. In fact, that's really what the universe is asking you to do here. With that conversation with Neptune and the Sun, it is saying, have compassion where it is that you see that lack of consciousness. So if you can bring that level of consciousness and patience, you know if somebody's doing something, it's not about you at all. And you only have to behave in a way to be at peace with yourself and not take on other people's stuff. Now, having said that, I know that sounds all serious and stuff, but there's also lots of really great things happening this week as well. I love that Venus is moving into a new sign, a sign that has to do with talking, has to do with, or rather a part of the sky for you that has to do with talking, has to do with being online, exchanging messages, and receiving messages from people, I think, from all over the world and all different types. So this should be especially fascinating for you. I do think that if you are open to meeting new people, all types of interesting people are likely to be drawn to you now. It is your ruling planet after all, and you also are going to be curious about more of the world. And those of you who are in an established bond, I think you'll just find yourself connecting that much more on a mind level. And you know, I often say, for air signs, they fall in love with their best friend. So if you are in love and you are connected to somebody, you will realize that much more that this really is, in many key ways, you being with your very best friend. Hello, fabulous Scorpio. This week we have got an active sky, and we have got a romantic sky for you as well. Now, we do have the Sun speaking with Neptune. Neptune is in a slow move, slow phase over this decade into the next, in a part of the sky for you that has to do with romance. It has to do with the dream and your imagination. Now, this can be a really great thing when that imagination gives you hope and helps you to see the best and see a more inspired sense of life and love and joy. But not so amazing when you're seeing what you want to see, or you're thinking way too much about a situation. Not likely, but just letting you know that that is a possibility here, that you might just dive into your imagination and just be enjoying yourself there so much that the world kind of like melts away. You're in this very like kind of inspired space. Now, that's not very real. It's not very reality, but does give you a nice little break. So if it's all innocent, it's all good, I don't think it really hurts anybody. Why not enjoy it? But with this particular conversation, I would just advise you that there is the possibility with this sky of you seeing something that might not necessarily be there, or that judgment of what you're seeing and what you believe is happening is tainted by, and especially with New Year's Eve, there might be some substances, some rose-colored glasses taking place. However, those rose-colored glasses find you, in whatever form they find you. So have fun. If you have fun, then you're using this energy really, really well. But if you are thinking too much about, oh, where this could go and what this could be and what then not so amazing. But that is amazing when you're thinking about your creativity, you're thinking about your joy, you're thinking about possibilities. If you are a writer, this is a great week to be giving attention to your writing, because this is a time when the words can be particularly beautiful, particularly heartfelt, have a way of particularly reaching people, and also you as well, just feeling that much more inspired, feeling like you could just keep going and going and writing and writing. So that should certainly give you a lift. Also this week, where it comes to other areas of your life and of the sky, we do have Venus moving out of your sign, but into a financial part of the sky for you. So this is great for your money. This should be good overall in terms of feeling more prosperous, in terms of feeling like you are earning money in a way that allows you to feel joyful, allows you to feel like you're doing something you love. And if that isn't the case, then this is going to be a time when you start getting serious about what you love and having your source of income coming from that place. What I love about this sky for you is that the universe is set to have you having a great inspiration for what is to come, but also great prosperity becomes that much more obvious and evident, and you feel yourself moving towards it more and more. Prosperity in a more rewarding way to make your prosperity happen for you. Hello, fabulous Sagittarius. This week, we've got Venus moving into your sign. This really does make you the most beautiful, the most charismatic, the most attractive of the zodiac. I think that this is going to be a really good time. On the one hand, especially as we are moving towards New Year's Eve, could be a really good time for you to, consider some new clothes, makeover. Now, Mercury is in shadow. So when Mercury's like in shadow and retrograde, sometimes the choices we make, once Mercury goes direct, we kind of change our minds. It can happen. Also though, do keep in mind that once we move past this week, Venus will be moving further and further closer to Saturn in your sign. So this is, normally I would say to you, this is a great time for you to be getting a makeover and get your hair done and get new clothes and all that. But because, especially just a few days in, Venus is moving ever closer to Saturn, it does suggest that you may want to pace yourself a little bit, not go too drastic a change. It looks like the style of choice likely for you should be something more classic, at least in the immediacy. Now this energy will turn around, will get a whole lot more positive and easier as we move forward, and I'll let you know. Of course, I'll be here to talk about it then. When Venus starts speaking in harmony in mid-January, in harmony with Uranus, that's amazing. That is an amazing time to make amazing things happen for you. And that is an amazing time to get that makeover, to get that haircut, to do all these changes that you've been desiring to make. But before we get there, because of that move of Venus to Saturn, it's more like a reality check. And it's more like, you may be thinking, yeah, okay, I want this to happen. And you go in and they're like, no, that's not possible. And no, I would have to do this and that and that and this. And the truth is that it just ends up feeling like, okay, oh my God, what am I doing? Am I really ready to be blonde? It could end up being that. I'm making light of it, but especially if you're considering anything more permanent, I would say just wait a little bit, hold back a little bit. And especially when it's something more permanent or has something to do with like cosmetic procedures, it's always advisable to find the exact right time to do that, because it just allows healing to happen in a whole much better way, results to be that much better as well. When Venus is approaching Saturn, as she really is going to start to do as she moves into your sign, approaching Saturn, it is, it becomes more about being like, okay, what is not possible? And that's not the energy you want to be in. You want to be an energy of what is possible and amazing turnarounds and feeling your absolute best and your most confident, your most charming. Seeing that part of yourself ultimately can allow you to appreciate your own unique beauty in every area of life, inside and out. And there's also just a desire with this to enjoy life more, to be pampered, and to enjoy pampering as well. What you don't want to do is kid yourself, okay? That's the only thing. Now, with this particular sky, as I said, romantically speaking, it's always good to have Venus in your sign. It's great for meeting new people because you just radiate a certain attractiveness that people are drawn to. It's that much better if you're in an established bond, to feel the connection with this other person and to just be feeling the love is really what it comes down to. You are feeling the love wherever it is that you are. We've also got lots of other stuff happening as well for you, particularly in financial parts of your sky. Mercury is speaking with Mars, Sun is speaking with Neptune. I look at this, a couple of things come to mind. One is friends and money right about now might not mix, okay? So you might get a request and it really doesn't feel right to you, honor that. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. If a friend is asking you to spend a lot of money for some reason, honor that. Be mindful of that as well. It could also be as I look at the sky, where it comes to your home, you might want to be making some fantastical changes and might have all this inspiration. But keep in mind, again, Mercury is gearing to go retrograde. And also that retrograde is going to happen mostly in a financial part of the sky. And so before you go and spend a whole lot of money to make all these aesthetic changes to your house and beautify your home, which is all good, right? All well and good. Also know that your taste might actually change, or what you think is worth the money one day might not be the next. And also what's also possible with this, I'll tell you, you might go in thinking, you might see something and say, oh yeah, I really like that. And you can't stop thinking about it. You go back a week later and the price you thought it was actually really different. It's actually a whole other price. So these are the types of little things that can happen with this type of energy, like the fantasy is there, the dream is there, the desire for glamour at home is there, but the reality might not necessarily be matching that just yet, and that really is okay. All that means is pace yourself. You've got a lot more time than you realize. Take it one step at a time, making small changes, making positive changes, and ultimately moving yourself towards what feels that much more and that much more beautiful to you. Hello, fabulous Capricorn. This week, you are at the center of the party in many ways. We have got the Sun and Mercury in your sign. They're both speaking with other power players. You've got Mercury speaking with Mars. You've got Sun speaking with Neptune. So in many ways, it really is about you. You having an understanding of yourself, you feeling inspired, you having to communicate yourself that much more clearly as well, particularly where it comes to bosses, I gotta say. So especially right around this time of year, it could be you communicating with bosses, could go in all kinds of different directions. You might understand something one way, but it's actually intended another. A message might rub you the wrong way, and it might be right how you're feeling, might be more accurate, but it might also not. And this is largely because we are having Mercury slowing down and gearing to retrograde very, very soon, as I spoke of in the introduction. And Mercury retrograding in your sign is going to have you thinking about yourself and life so differently. But for now, it does look like if you're thinking about sort of like life purpose, right? It's a great time to think about that and rethink that and get other perspectives. to empower yourself in that way, to think about if you are in alignment, to take an evaluation, if you will, and consider a more inspired future for yourself. Are you in alignment with that or not? And where you are not, to understand how it is that you can make positive changes so that you do feel more and more clear, so that you do feel like you're moving more and more in the direction that you truly desire to go. And those of you who are, or others of you may experience this energy a little bit differently. I really love the inspiration part, okay? So I do think that you are one of those signs. So it's you and Scorpios in particular. This conversation between the Sun and Neptune is great for writers, is great for writing. For you in particular, I would also add, is especially good for any kind of artistic endeavor as well. If you are so inspired, so inclined, I do think that this could be a great time when you're feeling like you're channeling an energy that allows you to create from a very sort of like a spiritual place. So if you do work, any kind of work that you think of as part of your spiritual path, consciously, let's say, right? Because as I said in the introduction, all work is spiritual. Where you are is not an accident, and you'll be there as long as it is that you're meant to be there. But some people more consciously align their work with a sense of spirituality, a sense of, okay, I'm doing this, I'm a healer in the world, or they directly access one of the esoteric arts, one of the healing arts, and know that this is the source of their prosperity. So regardless if it's direct or indirectly, this particular sky can have you viewing the world and viewing what you do and viewing the way you understand yourself with a much more empowering and spiritual lens, helping you to see how what it is, your daily life, your everyday existence, running around, actually is very meaningful and actually has meaning in it, that you're doing something good. And that allows you to feel that much more inspired about what more could be. So with the conversation with Mars and Mercury, don't let anyone convince you otherwise. Don't let anyone throw you off that path. Don't let anyone tell you that what you're doing isn't really a place that is a place of strength, because it certainly is. And you are moving towards greater accomplishments and greater strength as well. Capricorn, where it comes to love this week, Venus is moving into a decidedly quiet part of your sky. So what this means is that love becomes a behind the scenes matter. And also this is really good for closures as well, energetic or otherwise. So this can play out a few different ways. One way that this can play out is that if you find yourself being drawn to someone, you may find that, for whatever reason, it might just be an instinct, an intuition. You want to kind of keep it between the two of you. You want to kind of keep it a little bit private for now. Also with this energy, as I said, there's a sense of closure with this. So if you've been like sort of energetically like still attached to somebody, this can be that time and this can be that moment that allows you to really understand what it was that took place, or just at the very least, it allows you to let go. It allows you to say, okay, that's done, that's the past, it was what it needed to be. And that energetic closure opens you up to greater love. Like that shift of energy is ultimately what this is suggesting. Keep in mind, in a few weeks' time, Venus will enter your sign, and that's really when all kinds of things are going to start happening for you, especially in the context of love. You are going to start like one of those times every year that tends to be especially romantic for you. You tend to be especially attractive. And also with Mercury gearing up to retro in your sign as well, both of these energies suggest a reflectiveness into who you are, who you love, why you've been there, where now you want to go. And ultimately, it is going to be not only this week begins the process that's going to take place over the course of this month, really, that will help you to make those energetic changes that will allow you to experience very soon even greater love and greater wisdom than you knew before. Hello, fabulous Aquarius. This week we have got a lot of energy taking place in the sign just before yours. So in particular, it's Mercury and the Sun. So with the Sun speaking with Neptune, there are a few ways that this can work out. One is, this is great for dreaming up, and literally like dreaming, like literally setting the intention before you go to sleep. Okay, universe, how can I show me, inspire me? How can I create more prosperity for myself? How can I, really not just have it be about the prosperity, but how can you, especially if you're doing something that connects prosperity with spirituality, how can I do something in the world that is spiritual and beautiful and compassionate, and create great prosperity as well? That intention alone can make that vision become clearer to you. So this is a great energy for dreaming new ways to make money. And I actually think that, you might find like a certain song like goes through your head as soon as you wake up. Songs, music, especially inspirational right about now. But if you're thinking about that song and when you wake up you've got that song in your head, it's a really good idea to go and listen to that song. I remember like way back in graduate school, there was this seminar that took place between like how people have understood the different realms of existence and how we can connect the different realms, if you will. And I'll never forget the person who was sort of leading that seminar said, like if you dream that you're eating an apple, when you wake up, you should go and eat an apple, because you're creating a connection between your subconscious self and your conscious self, between the spiritual realm and your mundane reality. And that's ultimately what you want to do, because then that allows every moment to become a moment of divination, every moment to become a moment of synchronicity. What is synchronicity? Synchronicity is seeing something take place that is personally meaningful for you, that gives you a message, that helps you to understand that your experience in the world and on earth is an integrated one, is a one where you are communicating with and interpreting the world, and the world is speaking to you. It's a circular back and forth, rather than you just existing in, what Max Weber called, I believe he called it the alienation of modernity and this isolation of self. That's what you don't want, right? You want to feel like you're a part of everyone and everything. And that communication can be very powerful right about now. That's a great way to use this energy, particularly if you set the intention to use that synchronicity to move you towards greater prosperity, or prosperity that comes from a place that feels more spiritual or more inspired. What you do want to watch out for with this energy is, where the sun is now can be, the ancients called it, like among many things, right? Modern astrology, ancient astrology, traditional, whatever. Among the many ways to understand this part of the sky, one way is self-undoing. And then we have Neptune in a financial part of the sky. And so when I look at this conversation, it says to me that, you know where you are financially. You know what's worth spending money on and what isn't. So trust that. Operate from that place. Because if you do, then you'll find yourself making choices and making decisions that truly make you feel good about yourself and proud of yourself. And look, you're an Aquarius, Mercury's going to enter your sign and then station there. Next week going retrograde. And so this is not the time for you to be, doing things like any kind of like makeover stuff. You'll change your mind. Technology, this is not the time for you to be spending lots of money on technology. Lots of money for you. Of course, money is relative. But it's not necessarily the time to be doing that either. This is a time, though, to be grateful for all that you do have and to dream of new ways to create greater prosperity, rather than thinking that you have to spend more in order to do more, in order to be more. Life doesn't really work that way. You have to be it in order to do it, in order to have it. So start from that place. With Mercury moving, just before Mercury moves into your sign, will be in the sign just before yours. Speaking with Mars. Mars is in a very harmonious position to your sign. It's in the sign of Libra. This speaks volumes to me about how it is that you are being asked to look at the world and perceive the world and your world view. As I look at this, I feel like you've got a whole lot to say. It's like you've got a lot brewing underneath the surface. And then you'll get that glimpse. Mercury will move into your sign and you'll get that glimpse. Like, what is your message? What are you passionate about? Even, what is your mission? What do you believe as true? What do you take as true? All of this is going to be up for illumination in particular. But also, all of this is going to ask you to align your actions with that sense of the best worldview possible, the best you possible. So when you can do that, words and actions in alignment with a more loving worldview, a worldview that empowers you, whether that's an established tradition, a spiritual tradition, whether it's just a different philosophical outlook, a different emotional outlook, regardless. When you are able to understand that, align thought and action with that set of beliefs, you'll find yourself working together very much closer to the heart and feeling like life just takes on greater meaning, and you find a greater sense of inner peace in all of that as well. With this particular conversation, as I said before, that whole idea of self-undoing, this might not be the time to plan, a big, extravagant vacation, okay? So it may not be the time to plan some big trip. It's possible that you might have to travel for reasons that maybe not really are so much in your control, but regardless, not necessarily a time for you to consciously be saying, okay, yes, I'm gonna go do that particular trip at this particular time. I would say just give it a few days, that's all. Before you go, all gung-ho with the world cruise, just give it a couple of days so that you are clear on your expectations and just what it is that you desire and what your intention is. Also, where it comes to love, we have got Venus moving into what is called your house in the sky. This is your house, your area of the sky, your domain, if you will. And there's a friendship factor to this energy as well. So if you are open to meeting someone new, hang out with friends, or it could be a friend that starts to look a little better to you. You start looking at a friend, oh wow, okay, yeah, I didn't notice that person is very cute. I hadn't realized that. That kind of feeling. Or it could be a friend that ends up flirting with you. Or just hanging out with friends makes you that much more available to love. And if you are in an established bond, then this is a time to start doing more social things with the person that you love. Get out and about, be with people, be more social. This is a really great energy to be starting off the year with a desire to enjoy life and all its experiences, to enjoy people, and to open your heart, to understand that there is love in so many ways available to you. Hello, fabulous Pisces. This week, we have got the sun speaking in harmony with Neptune in your sign. And the sun is in a part of the sky for you that has to do with your friends. To me, this says that your friends just get you. It's like your friends are bringing a spiritual awakening, a warm understanding, sort of an unspoken bond being strengthened and amplified within your friendship. So there's something very beautiful happening there. Definitely a time to be spending with people that you trust, that you love, who you've established that connection with over a period of time. But friends can also, you know, be the ones who are like sort of trying to stir you in some way, trying to wake you in some way. And that's where you want to be a little bit careful. It does look like it is possible. If a friend comes to you and asks you to invest in something, hold off. I would advise that you hold off a little bit. If your friend is particularly adamant that you invest in their brilliant idea, their brilliant invention, maybe just trust yourself, right? See what feels right to you. This could be a time also, though, that you might find yourself doing a little bit of like overspending in the context of friendships, thinking that you need to pick up the bill constantly or something like that. If you find yourself in a situation where you're feeling like, okay, now there's some sort of weird expectation taking place here, you can speak about that and speak about where you are and speak about what feels right to you, of course. That's always helpful. But something in me tells me, like, as I look at this conversation, either it will be like hard for you to do, like you'll sort of have to say to yourself, okay, what am I saying here? What is the underlying belief that I'm expressing? But also it could be that as you are trying to speak of this, it comes across differently than you actually intend it to. If your friend, now it might not even be that your friend wants your money, it might be that your friend just has a brilliant financial idea and you can see all kinds of holes in it. You have to walk that fine line of enforcing a sense of self-trust in them, enforcing support, and at the same time figuring out how to encourage them to think of all the different implications, right? There is a certain grace about it, and if anyone can find that sweet spot where you are encouraging your friend to make changes and yet also encouraging them to be smart and think about a lot of different factors that might be eluding them, it certainly is you. In the context of love, Venus moves into the very top of your sky. And so this does suggest that if you are going to meet new people now, they will be people who are sort of on the same track as you, if you will. They'll be people who are in some way aligned with where it is you believe you're going in life, a sense of your own life purpose, or they will in some way awaken that in you. Your attractions will awaken a sense of clarity into your direction. This can also be just, you know, being very attracted to or flirtation with people in a position of authority, people you respect, possibly bosses, so be mindful of that. Venus is going to meet Saturn very soon, not this week, but very soon. So be especially mindful of that, because you really don't want to find yourself in a place where you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. Because Venus is approaching Saturn, and Saturn is very much by the book, right? Saturn is about honoring the rules, respect. So you just want to be mindful that you're not crossing that line where someone might question what your intention is and why you would say what you did. You don't want to do that. What you could do with this energy also is to just bring a lot of love to the goals that you have for your life. And that alone, pursuing your goals, pursuing the things that matter to you, are going to be one of the surest ways that you are made that much more attractive to other people around you. Well, thank you so much for watching the horoscopes for this week. And again, a very big Happy New Year to everyone out there. You have my full gratitude. I hope you have a great New Year's Eve. It will be a great week. Enjoy.